The real estate market is insane right now. If you're trying to buy a house, you know how hard it is to get a house for a good price. I've also been looking for a property and just finding one that's not a complete ripoff that you can get for a good deal and actually get an accepted offer on has been extremely hard. So I'm going to talk about that in this video, and I'll also give an update about how the housing market is doing. Are we going to see a housing market crash? And what should you expect from the housing market over the next couple of years? So let's get into the video now. So like I mentioned, I'm on the market to buy a property. I originally wanted to buy a multifamily property, but given the rent situation, right now you'd be losing a ton of money compared to how much you'd be paying for the property, at least in my area, which is the Boston area. So I've opted to try to find a single family house that I can turn into a rental, and then maybe next year when the rents get back to normal, I will look into buying another multifamily property. But just finding a property before it sells has been incredibly difficult. In my area, about 75% of the properties that are on the market have only been on the market for 5 days or less, which means that basically after the first open house, they're being sold immediately. And they're going for above asking price in almost every single situation. In working with my realtor, we found that the average home price is going over asking by 5 to 10%. In one case, one house went over by 25%. And there's no sign of this stopping anytime soon because there are so many buyers out there. Every open house I go to, there are 20, 30 people waiting before the open house even opens. So the amount of demand is insane. Everyone's trying to get into a house, but there's just so little supply, and that's what's driving the prices of housing up so high. See, I've been seeing houses on the market that normally would be selling for about $50,000 less than what they're on the market for. These are houses that have poor condition, they need a lot of work, but they're even selling for nearly as much as completely renovated properties because there's so few houses, people are very desperate just to get in one. And I'm not willing to pay $50,000 overpriced. But overall, am I concerned about a housing market crash in the next couple of years? The short answer is no, and I've made multiple videos about this topic. Is the housing market going to crash in the next couple of years because of the high prices that people are paying? But as I've mentioned, unlike 2008, 2012, what everyone thinks about when they think about a housing crash, the conditions of the market are so much different today. But where we are today with housing is so much different. There is a huge shortage of new houses being built every year, and there has been since 2012. The pandemic has only increased that because the cost to build has become so much more expensive because of the price of lumber, as well as the shutdowns last year from construction. So overall, housing is not going to get back on track for quite a while, I would say. And the main way that a housing crash could even occur would be if there was a slew of new homes on the market due to like a mass foreclosure at the same time or something like that. But there is definitely no way that that's going to happen in this situation just because of how the market is. Of course, as soon as foreclosures are allowed to begin again, there are going to be foreclosures over the next couple of years, but there is not going to be so many that is going to affect the housing market. And that's in large part due to the lack of new homes being built. But are housing prices going to continue going up by 10, 15, 20% every year? Of course not. That's not sustainable either. It will definitely start to slow down over the next couple of years as more houses get onto the market. But if you're looking to buy a house, there is really no point to wait for a couple of years to hope that the market goes down some, because you're going to be missing out on a lot of profits that you could be making over the next few years. And if you're coming from renting, you especially should get into a house if you can find a good deal. I'm not suggesting that you should go out and overpay for a property like $50,000 above what it's actually worth. But if you keep looking, you can find a property eventually that will be a good deal, maybe not the best deal, but it'll be a good deal at least, so that you can at least get your foot into the door of home ownership, which is what every family's goal is in America, is to own their own home. And there are so many benefits to owning a home versus renting, and that's for a completely another video. But basically, it just allows you to create equity, build wealth, and live in your own home. And I keep seeing a lot of people saying, oh, we'll just wait a couple of years for the housing market to die down and we'll just rent until then. But I don't think that's the right decision. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, that the housing market will always go up over time due to inflation. So as long as you're looking to stay in a home or own a home at least for the next 5-10 years, you're always going to come out ahead as long as your home is taken care of. And the other major factor is also interest rates. As interest rates do go back up slowly, the housing market will start to settle down as well. Because when you have higher interest rates, people can afford less house, so they can't pay as much as they normally would for a house. In the last year, we've had all-time low interest rates, so that's one of the major factors that played a key role in increasing the pricing of real estate so dramatically. People were able to afford $50,000 or $100,000 more in real estate just because of low interest rates. So that's where you see a big bump in the real estate prices. So keep an eye on interest rates. That will be a major factor in the market shifting or slowing down. And that's not going to cause any sort of crash in real estate unless they double the interest rate overnight or something like that. But I don't see them doing anything crazy like that. So I see the market staying pretty stable for the next few years. So that's my quick update on the real estate market as of right now. So I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, definitely like the video, leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content. I talk about real estate, I talk about personal finance, and about anything else that can help you build wealth. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.